دقيقة للمتحدث الرئيس و5 دقائق للمعقب والذي سوف يعقب على المحور. هناك 5 محاور. المحور الأول طبيعة الأزمة المالية العالمية وأسبابها، وسيكون متحدث الرئيس أستاذ عبدالعزيز بن عثمان بن صقر رئيس مركز الخليج للأبحاث، وسوف يعقب على المحور دكتور حسن عمر بلخي رئيس قسم الاقتصاد السابق. المحور الثاني البعد الاقتصادي لأزمة النظام المالي العالمي، والمتحدث الرئيس سوف يكون الأستاذ الدكتور محمد سالم صبام مستشار وزير البترول والثروة المعدنية، وسوف يعقب على المحور الدكتور خالد البسام أستاذ مشارك قسم الاقتصاد. المحور الثالث البعد السياسي والجغرافي للأزمة المالية، والمتحدث الرئيس لهذا المحور هو الأستاذ الدكتور سعود بن محمد العتيبي رئيس قسم العلوم السياسية، وسوف يعقب على هذا المحور دكتور وليد بن نايف السديري عضو هيئة التدريس بقسم العلوم السياسية. المحور الرابع البعد القانوني للأزمة، وسوف يكون متحدث الرئيس أستاذ معالي الوزير عبد الله بن أحمد زين، وسوف ينوب عنه الأستاذ وليد بن عبد الله الرويشد مدير عام الشركات في وزارة التجارة، وسوف يعقب على المحور دكتور عبد الله بن محمد العطاس رئيس قسم الأنظمة. أخيرا البعد الأخلاقي للأزمة المالية، سوف يكون متحدث الرئيس الدكتور عبد الله بن قربان تركستاني مدير مركز أبحاث الاقتصاد الإسلامي، وسوف يعقب على هذا المحور الأستاذ الدكتور أحمد بلوافي. بعد الانتهاء من هذه المحاور إن شاء الله سوف يكون هناك وقت لمدة 20 دقيقة لأخذ بعض الأسئلة، ولكن في بداية الجلسة نرحب بضيف شرف الندوة في جلستها الافتتاحية، وهو سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور محمد بن عمر شابرة مستشار بالمعهد الإسلامي للبحوث والتدريب، حائز على جائزة الملك فيصل للاقتصاد الإسلامي، وحائز على جائزة البنك الإسلامي للتنمية، وسوف يحدثنا سعادته لمدة 20 دقيقة. تفضل دكتور.
شكرا يا سيدي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. When I was a college student in the early 1950s, before most of you were born, anyone who talked about Islamic finance was considered to be crazy. He is out of his mind. He doesn't know the realities of this world. But now things have changed. Islamic finance has become respectable all over the world. What is the reason for this? Of course, the reason is that the prevailing financial system is in crisis. Unless of this system, the international financial system is going to break down. And it will not take many long years. It can happen within a short time. And Islamic finance has gained respectability. So what is the reason for the failure of the prevailing system? You need to discuss the cause of this failure, and of course the most important cause indicated by practically everyone is excessive and imprudent lending. Why is it possible for banks to resort to excessive and imprudent lending? Aren't they afraid of making losses? You can see, you are in colleges, and you know that if there were no exams, hardly anybody would study very hard. They would come to the class, listen to the lecture, and go away. But when they know that they have an exam and they have to pass this exam, then they work hard. So when there is no failure or loss, failure or success, then of course the system is not going to work. And this fear of failure comes from profit or loss. If I know that I am going to suffer loss, I will be very careful, and I want to make profit, so I will take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. So this is the important thing. How do I operate this? The question is, why the system has failed? Because there is inadequate market discipline, as I indicated. If there is no fear of loss, then the banks are going to resort to excessive lending. Why not resort to excessive lending? The more they lend, the greater the profit. If there is no fear of loss, then they can go on lending as much as they want, and their profits will increase. So this is one of the most important causes, and this raises the question of what makes it possible for banks to lend excessively. One of the things that happened in the present financial system is the ability to sell debt. I lend to somebody and then I sell the debt, I get money, I lend to somebody else and sell the debt, I get my money back with commission, and this process goes on. So there is excessive lending. Of course, in Islam, sale of debt is not allowed. So once I give a loan to somebody, then I cannot sell it. And therefore, there cannot be excessive lending. I can lend as much as I have the resources. More than that, it is not possible. But in the conventional financial system, excessive lending is possible. And when there is this excessive lending, the question is, the banks, if they have prime debt, they will be able to sell it. But if the debt is not prime, they cannot sell it. So there cannot be excessive lending, in spite of being able to sell. So what to do? There was an innovation, that is securitization. What I do is I combine the prime and subprime debt and divide this whole into securities of small amounts and sell them in the market. Then people do not know really how much of it is prime and how much of it is subprime. So people purchased the debt securities in large amounts, and the lenders kept on selling such debt in the market. There was another innovation which helped in this, because in spite of this securitization, there could be defaults. People may not be able to repay their debt. So there was an innovation called the debt recovery, securitization, collateralized debt obligations. Collateralized debt obligations, where you combine the two, prime and subprime debt, and sell it in the market. And there was this emergence of credit default swaps. Credit default swap was a kind of insurance. I lend to somebody, and then I am afraid that what will happen if there is a default. So I get insurance. And the credit default swap helped me give more and more loans. So this may not have caused much problem. But what happened is that the credit default swaps became a source of gambling. In other words, even if I have not lent to somebody,